Tell me about your best friend at school. My best friend from high school is Jayan, or my school best friend is Jayan. Of course, he is still my best friend. Or, of course, he is still my best friend until now. I'd like to talk about Jayan, who has been my best friend since our high school days. Or, I'd like to talk about Jayan, who has been my best friend since high school. Until recently, he worked as a technician for a ventilator company, and now he's preparing to get a better job with a higher salary than his previous job. Or, until recently, he worked as a technician for a ventilator company, and now he is preparing to get a better and high paying job. I remember when we were still studying at the same school. The first time I met him was in 2019 when we just entered high school. Or looking back to when we were still at school, we first met on the first day of school in 2019. Although we were never in the same class for 3 years, it just so happened that our homes were close and we had to take the same bus when we went to school or came home. Or, although we were never in the same class for 3 years, we had to take the same bus going to school and back home because we lived in the same area. So, we naturally got close by spending time on public transport. He is such a good and hardworking man that he started working just after graduating from high school instead of enjoying life like an ordinary student who just became an adult. Or, he is such a good and hardworking man to the point that he started working right after graduation instead of enjoying life as ordinary students do. He is such a good and hardworking man to such an extent that he started working right after graduation, unlike some average students who enjoy what they can do when they became adults. Whenever we get some free time, we meet each other at a coffee shop or bar and sit there for hours gossiping about our day to day life. Or, whenever we get to hang out with each other, we get to a coffee shop or bar gossiping about our day to day life. I have a lot of memories with him. Or, we have a lot of memories together. Not long after we were both discharged from the army, we lived together. We worked together as security guards at a large market for 6 months, and we went on a backpacking trip to Thailand with the money we saved from working. We really had a good time traveling there, or our trip there was really fantastic. I think that was the best time of my life, or I can consider that the best time of my life. I think that was the happiest moment of my life, or I think that was one of the happiest moments of my life. Sometimes his acting like a jerk makes me laugh, such as when I had a hard time in the army. He visited my military unit once with alcohol and said that he brought alcohol for my boring military life. Or sometimes he acts like a jerk which makes me laugh. For example, when I had a hard time in the army, he brought alcohol to my military unit and said it was for my boring military life. That was crazy. I never thought he would bring a drink. Or, that was crazy. I never imagined him bringing a drink. Of course, I knew the alcohol he brought was just for a lark, or and he just went there out of concern for me. Anyway, I drank it well secretly. Or, anyway, I secretly drank it. Just like this, he was always there to cheer me up whenever I needed support. Furthermore, it's fun to be with him even if there's nothing special. He is extremely honest towards our friendship, and he is a trustworthy person as well. Or, he is honest and trustworthy at the same time. This is the reason why I consider him as my best friend. Or, this is the reason why I truly value him as my best friend.